Greetings, Christine. How are you?
Hello. I I'm good. I I'm realizing that like this cycle that we're moving into is it's the one that like brings up all my stuff. So I'm feeling a little bit like okay.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk more about that in the as we do the presentation. I'm really excited to hear about that. For
Mhm.
me, I'm actually feeling excited because we're moving back to our regular rhythm. I
Yes.
feel like we get to I don't know if relax is the right word, but we get to shift gears in a way that feels what feels like normal to me.
Yeah. What we've been doing for this past year is like trying to integrate two things that are really different, and we get to kind of go back to the power of just the polarity. When we're working with opposites, they're not things that are really different, they're like two sides of the coin. So you can, I don't know, that it's just a different experience. Like you can go deeper into the like themes.
Yes, absolutely. So, with that, welcome everyone to 13 Moons Manifestation Initiation. We're presenting Showing Up, Sharing, and Shining, a preview of the Leo Aquarius moon cycle that begins. It actually begins on August 1st,
Actually, it's July 31st.
July
July
31st.
31st. Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's get started this evening. Okay.
All right. Right. So each month when we work with moon cycles, um, the astrology is really asking us some important questions, and our work is how we answer them. And so with the Leo Aquarius cycle, like it's Leo and Aquarius that are asking the questions this month. Um, and so, just to give you a rough idea, like where are you hiding your light and what uniqueness do you have to offer the community, would be two questions just to think about right now.
Those are good questions.
They are. And we titled this showing up, sharing, shining and sharing. And um reason and so that whole theme of showing up, um getting into why is that a challenge. I think it can be really personal. So I don't know, Monique, what, like, how does this show up for you? Like, when are there places where it's difficult for you to show up?
Yeah, it's showing up is probably my greatest shadow thing, honestly, I have to say. It's always the deepest question. Am I going to show up? am I am I going to do for myself what only I can do? It's 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 a deep question that I think many people might not ask themselves. I don't know, but I know when I consider it, it makes me tremble because I'm like, am I gonna oversleep? In my consciousness, not just like the alarm clock. Am I gonna make an excuse? Am I going to fail? Am I gonna believe in myself? Am I gonna have the confidence? Am I gonna prepare? Like all of these questions around showing up present themselves to me. How about you?
Yeah, this is one of my biggest areas of opportunity and growth, and it's my biggest edge, and the thing that I've navigated through just different layers of it over my entire life. And I don't know if that will ever go away. Like, it just is it's one of those places where I'm just like, I'm here to learn, and I'm here to grow and step into it. And it's challenging for me. There's various ways in which um I fear showing up, and I have resistance around it, or and you know what? It feels deep. It feels rooted beyond me, beyond my lifetime. Like, it literally feels like it's in my DNA. It's in like our like ancestors, that were witches that burned at the stake, or people who were tortured for showing up in the way that they did. It's like, it feels like that to me sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's a really deep one. That like I said, I think we overlook sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So where we got this theme from this month is that we are working with Leo and Aquarius.
Mm.
And Monique picks out a lot of these pictures. I loved the little dog.
Right? Yes. He's been true to himself. He's mad. He's
He,
mad dogging somebody. He's got that mad dog face on.
right?
Yeah,
um, yeah. Do you want to talk about the signs?
absolutely. So this
Okay.
month, the themes are that we're going to move through Leo and Aquarius moon cycle, and um, the things that we'll be focusing on are expression, creative force, and leadership for Leo, and then for Aquarius, uniqueness, brilliance, and visionary. And I think that's pretty simple. I think we can just, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited. Like I said, I'm excited because we're moving back to what feels like a normal rhythm to me.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna look at one side of the coin and then the other,
Yeah.
one during the new moon, one during the full moon. And
Yes,
it, yeah, there really just is kind of a, like we're settling into a groove again.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So what that means is that Leo being the new moon, it's going to be more where we're really doing the work of clearing or moving through, what's in the way. And so that's why we chose the theme that we did, because what we're really going to be looking at is what's in the way of you showing up, of you shining, of you sharing who you are, you sharing your light, your pure expression of who you naturally are.
Mm,
And both of these signs, like Leo's very individual, very individual expression. And then Aquarius is more like that collective expression, your vision for humanity, for the community, for the future. And it's that, but it's also like it's just that other kind of genius.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So what we've done is we've broken this down a little bit just in talking about um, what gets in the way of expression, of your true expression. And we've broken it down into kind of three things to look at in these areas. And the first one is your environment. Um, I always think of this like, okay, if Leo is sign of royalty, of like where our leadership, or like where we want to shine, is we have to be in the right realm.
Mm,
If we're I've known people before that, like, they have incredible leadership ability, but they're literally in the wrong realm, and then they think they don't, because they're just like, they're ruling the wrong kingdom.
yeah,
And so you do have to kind of look at, like, what's the environment that actually is most supportive of your unique talents and expression and creativity.
absolutely. I agree with that entirely. This is a very exciting, like, because the energy of us coming back to the oppositional will bring us even more closely to, if we've been doing the work, that's what I say. If we've been doing the work, this month will bring us into our realm. It'll bring us into the alignment if we've been doing the work up till now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So these are just all like kind of questions, to sit with as you're contemplating this theme.
Mhm.
And just think about, like, if you had to define um, the environment, the realm, the correct realm for you,
Mhm.
what does it look like?
Mm.
Who are you surrounded with? Is it a lot of people or not many people? Is it an exciting, fast-paced environment that is, can you handle that, or do you need peace and spaciousness? And just start giving that some thought. What most supports you being your truest self?
Mhm.
What environment? What's the best container for your expression, essentially?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next one to consider is that when we're looking at, how we express, you want to look at how clear of a channel are you? You know, is there anything gunking up or clogging the filters? Um, and and what those things generally look like. Um, are you really critical of yourself and
Mhm.
others? Because really, it's usually the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's you.
If you find yourself being very judgmental of others'
Yeah,
creations, believe me, you're double that towards yourself.
right. That's right. Yeah.
Um, yeah. Do you what kind of things do you think of when you think this for you?
When I just was listening to you is like self-judgment. Like, am I blocking the flow with self-judgment? Am I blocking the flow with fear? Am I in my own way? How am I in my own way? The idea, I know that I've spent a lot of time in my life before, recent years thinking if I had this, it would be better. And if I had that, it would be better. Like all those are just stories that are just in my head. Like really what I've discovered, that nothing is stopping if I'm in my truth or whatever it is, it's me, but certainly not anyone outside of me. It's not, all the things that I could tell myself it is. It's not. It's just
Yeah.
that I believe that something is. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
right.
Even if it appears to be someone else, it's someone else that we've employed in that role.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We've set it up that way.
That's right. We have set it up that way and we play it out. And it's, one of the things about Leo energy, it's it feels so youthful, and there can be an innocence in it, but there can also be a naivete. And so it's like, which one are you functioning from? Because I feel like innocence is this pure expression, and naivete is not recognizing that you have power. It's like it feels like there's a sort of an ignorance in that, um and which brings me back to, like, we put those people in those positions, and it's naive to think that we didn't. you know
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when I think of it, Leo is really, Leo's a very heart-based expression. It's
Yes.
it's like it's our deepest, our heart, like what does our heart have to express? And um and I think that the sort of shadow or more like wounded side of Leo is, like is where we get rigid and we want to control how other people get to perceive us.
Yes. Oh.
And then we bend ourselves in different ways to try to do that, or we don't express because if we can't control how people are going to receive it. And that that heart-based expression doesn't do that.
Yeah.
It knows that it's really none of your business how it lands with somebody else.
Yes.
I was just listening to an audiobook the other day, and it was it's Tori Amos, the musician, and she was just talking about how when she puts a song out into the world, she doesn't get to control the narrative anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay, and that people sometimes bring back to her little pieces of the puzzle of like what a song awoke for them or brought up for them. And that whole thing, like when you create something, it's just like a child. It's like you birth a child and you don't own that child. It's something you created and you expressed, and it gets to stand on its own. And I
Mm.
think sometimes people have fear around that.
Absolutely. I understand.
Yeah. So, okay. So a couple of things to think about here. Just ways to be more receptive, ways to be more open to just that flow through you. And working on your ability to receive is, can you receive compliments? Like it's such a simple thing, but honestly, it's a really good indicator that you're blocking the flow if you can't, or if you start making excuses or like, oh, like can you just say thank you
Yeah.
when somebody gives you a compliment? Um, over giving, just like that, where there's not balance in your giving and receiving. And also, like, can you ask for what you need? And can you really allow yourself to receive? Just like things to think about of clearing up that channel so that you can be a really pure, innocent expression
Absolutely.
of who you are. Okay. And this last one is just talking about like when we're looking at this sort of creative instinct or expression. One of the things that's really important is that it's received, that we have, that we're not actually in it alone. And a lot of times, people who are highly creative, they have a muse, they have a patron, they have someone who inspires them, someone who believes in them and supports them. Many artists have patrons, like someone who actually supports them being able to do the work that they're doing. And this shows up in a lot of different ways, but it's a good energy to think about, in this whole idea of expressing, like, what have you set up in your own life where you're supported in that?
Yes. Oh, that's absolutely powerful and brilliant. It's, I have a patron. Like I have someone who pays for things that I do to put out in the
Mhm.
world. And it's 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 humbling on some
Yeah.
level because it's like, wow, someone has so much value, so much belief in me that they invest in me regularly. And and it and it gives me a real sense of purpose. It's like
Yeah.
not this is not just mine. I need to do it because I'm doing it in service to not just myself but to the world. And so, yes, having a muse or a patron or a champion or it's really important. And it doesn't just come with money. It comes with family members or friends or your children, or it comes in all sorts of ways. Nature, I feel like nature is always cheering me on, always sending me signals and signs and totems to remind me that what I'm doing is that I'm going in the right direction. So absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's like it's one of the ways in which we can be truly seen. A lot of times, like, it isn't always about money or just financial support. It's like someone who just really sees you
Yes.
and is willing to support that in
Yeah.
whatever way. And yeah, and you're right. It can be nature. It can, like it can be, it doesn't have to be a literal person. It can be like an energy that you allow
Yeah,
to support you as well.
absolutely.
But yeah, it's like allowing yourself to be seen in that way and developing a relationship with those outside forces.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the ways you can do that, one that it really isn't listed here, but kind of, is that, in order for people to see that spark in you and that light in you, you have to be vulnerable, and you have to show up.
Yes.
Otherwise, people don't see who you really are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're hiding out or you're showing up and you're still wearing a mask, then what people are seeing isn't the real you. And then they can't really see that and support it. And,
Yes.
so it's like, you have to be willing to step through the fear in
Yes.
order to be truly seen, and in order for the people who really want to celebrate you to find you.
That's right. You have to let your light shine so people can see you through
Yeah.
the cloud. Absolutely.
And that means that there are going to be people that are like, you're not for me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Like, you have to weed those people out. It doesn't mean that what you have to share isn't worthwhile. It just means they're not your people. But you don't find your people by being afraid to express how you really are. It's a catch-22, but it's the thing you have to stand in.
It's
You
how
can't have it both ways, like you can't hide and avoid the criticism and then still be seen
yeah,
by the
there
people who
there
really
are
need you.
rules to this thing. You have to follow them. Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly. So yeah, so making time to actually, creating a container, making time to show up with some kind of reverence to this
Mhm.
is useful in like getting into the energy, showing up at the blank canvas, and and practice
Mhm.
expressing as well, and being willing to share. All right. So that's just kind of a little preview or dive into the themes that we're all on some level going to be working with this month. Now, you may have some really specific things you want to work on, and that's completely fine too. But we do find that a lot of times really working with the astrology too, it just, there's a collective experience that happens on top of whatever personal goals you have.
Yeah.
So when we allow ourselves to shine, we can show up as we really are for our communities and our visions and our futures. You know, like you get to stand in that brilliance. And so we have a new cycle starting on July 31st.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about goal setting?
Yeah, let's just go for it. Let's finish this up. All right, so
Okay.
we're going to set 2 obtainable goals, and in 28 days period, you will be able to move through the cycle with Christine and Cheryl and myself to manifest the goals that are pertaining to your Leo Aquarius energy. Okay.
Yep. And we take you through, this is the whole cycle. These are the different phases, and we don't have time to go into detail on the phases in here, but that's what we do in the group. That we take you through the 8 phases of the moon. And what is ideal about this whole process is that we are lining you up with taking the correct actions at the correct time. You know, like what the benefit of working with the moon is that you do things when it's going to be potent or impactful. You know, like we don't try to take big actions out in the world at the times where we're supposed to be more inwardly reflective. And so we help you line up with that and take the actions that are most in alignment with where the moon is at any given point during the month. Is that good? Do you have anything else to say about cycles?
No, I just think it's an incredible tool that we use, and I love it. That's it.
Yeah, they move fast. The moon cycles, with 28 days, they move fast. Sometimes it can feel overwhelming if it's like your first time doing it. It can sometimes take a couple months to really get the hang of it. But if you do, it's like you get to this place where you internalize it, and then you can feel it. Like you don't even have to have somebody tell you where you are. Like you can feel it.
Right. Absolutely.
And ideally, that's what we all do, is like we internalize this. We align ourselves with the moon energy, and we work with it to benefit us.
And the thing about the moon is that it's already aligned to our creative system, which is our reproductive system. Our reproductive system is our creation system. So we're just bringing our attention to it and aligning our thoughts to it. Because I know before I did this work, my body was already in the moon cycle. But my mind wasn't. So this brings the mind to it. So the 13 Moons program that begins on July 31st will help you release what is in the way of your brilliance, express who you really are. Are you ready to move from hiding to shining? So our community will support you. The 13 Moons membership includes a Facebook private group where we, Christine, myself, and everyone who's in the group, there are about 70 of us now, I think. Yeah, about 70 of us. There are 70 of us in the group doing the work together each and every day, doing the rituals, working with every phase, working with the theme, and supporting one another. So you get the private Facebook group, you get a complete lunar program aligning you to the 8 moon phases. You get the rituals that amplify your power and the results of your goals and objectives. You get daily support from 3 coaches, the Moon Manifestation Library full of resources. Accountability will keep you on track so that you get what you desire. And there are 3 monthly calls, one full moon call, one axis call where Christine leads, and then a planting moon meditation call. And then there will be email reminders to let you know when the phases change and things like that. And so we literally give you an entire system to help you stay on track and to help you manifest your goals.
Okay. Yeah. And I left Cancer in here by accident. So it's Leo and Aquarius this month, but ignore the Cancer.
Love Cancer.
So, yeah. Just trying to hold on to it.
Yes.
So we begin on July 31st. And as far as joining the program, it's $97 per month. Um, it's like an auto renewal. So you come in and ideally, it's really great if you can stay with this for a period of time, because like you will learn a lot from doing that. But it is a program that, you can drop out of it, and enter it another time, or it just renews month to month, so you can cancel before the renewal if you don't want to continue. If you sign up today, there's a link right here to go to sign up. And if you sign up by like any time before the 29th, you'll be entered in a drawing to receive a personal reading from the Moon Mama, Monique, for this moon cycle.
And we are excited to have you. This month is going to be really fantastic, and I just couldn't be more excited about it. Like, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this cycle. Like, I got
Yeah.
feel. So we look forward to having everyone with you, and thank you so much. Thank you, Christine.
Yeah. Thank you.
All righty, everyone. Peace and blessings.